Afternoon all. It's a Sunday afternoon and I've gone out for a walk. I like to do it every so often, just go out, walk. I always take my camera with me just in case you come across anything. And I was thinking to myself, what video could I do for your new viewers out there to show you what the channel's all about? And all you viewers that watch regularly on the channel, so what, why not put a video together of all the explorers I've been in the last 3 months? Wouldn't that be a good idea? Then your regular viewers can see what we've been up to, or recap what we've been up to over the last 3 months. And you new viewers, you can see what the channel's all about. So in this video you're going to see clips, well basically it's going to be the intros from the videos that we've already done, all put into one video. Then you can see what we're all about, and if you do like it you can subscribe and see what we've got coming over the next 3 months or so. I'll tell you now, we've got some interesting stuff coming up, probably over the next 12 months or so. Well, that's enough of me waffling on now, so let's get into the video and I hope you enjoy it.
Exploring a forgotten holiday camp with a wild past. Step back in time as we uncover the history of this former holiday camp, likely dating back to the early 1970s. But before vacationers arrived, this site had a wilder story. It was once home to a zoo, nestled in the grounds of Cummin Hill Manor House from 1949 to 1973. This incredible zoo housed an array of magnificent animals, including cheetahs, bears, leopards, lions, and even sea lions, spread across 8 acres of pleasure grounds. What remains of this unique location today? Join me on this fascinating journey as we piece together its past and explore what's left of this once thriving grounds. For nearly 2 decades, the Stonemason Arms has stood empty, a ghost of its former self in Devonport, Plymouth. Once a thriving beer house, the pub closed its doors in 2008, leaving behind boarded up windows and unanswered redevelopment plans. Now a bold new proposal seeks to breathe life back into the historic site, transforming it into 10 modern flats. Another very cool explore today of a hotel on the south coast of Devon. It's such a shame to see a lot of stuff just left there. Even the electric and the water was still on. From what I can tell is the lady sadly passed away and the house was just left to rot. I also think someone may have been using this place to sleep recently. Please enjoy the video. Allen House, once a 38-bed nursing home, was acquired by Evolve Care Group in 2008. Around that time, its residents were moved to units at Haverley Care Village. Plans were made for a £10 million development to replace the old cramped buildings with a modern care centre. However, this left Allen House abandoned and in a state of despair. It was sold in July 2020 with a freehold price of £50,000 but remains abandoned to this day. Yes, the former Carglades infant school in St Austell has remained abandoned since its closure in 2010 when a new school opened nearby. The building has suffered from vandalism and 2 suspected arson attacks in August 2015 and July 2020. There have been discussions about redeveloping the site into residential flats while preserving its historical features, but concerns remain about the impact on the area's character and the availability of affordable housing. A local Facebook group has been advocating for the preservation of the building's features during any redevelopment. It's unfortunate to see such a historical site fall into despair. Hopefully a solution can be found that respects its heritage while addressing community needs. What are your thoughts on its future? Bookland Keep is a 19th century fortified barracks in Plymouth, England, built between 1863 and 1868 as part of the Palmerston Forts, a defensive scheme championed by Prime Minister Lord Palmerston. It was designed to protect the Royal Navy dockyard at Devonport and housed the garrisons for nearby forts like Forda Battery, Bowden Fort and Fort Austin. The keep could accommodate 230 soldiers and store ammunition, but it was never fitted with a recommended 5 7-inch rifle breech loading guns. It was sold by the War Office in 1947 and has since been used for retail storage and residential purposes. In 2018 it changed ownership again and it has been Grade 2 listed since 1973. Despite extensive efforts, the initiative ultimately proved unsuccessful, leading to the project abandonment, leaving the keep without the envisioned transformation. Nestled deep within the whispering woodlands, just outside Parr, the old Pokerist house stands a silent witness to time's passage. Its once proud stone facade is now covered by ivy, trees and bushes that are sadly creeping over the weathered walls as if nature itself was reclaiming the structure. The slate roof, worn by decades of wind and soap-laden air from the nearby coast, bears scars of seasons long past. Some tiles missing, others shifted, leaving gaps for the elements to slip through. Join us as we explore the abandoned legendary printer house joined by the uncharted exploration. After decades of ink-splattered genius and pages hot off the press, Devon's legendary printer's house has met a jaw-dropping final. Once a beacon of craftsmanship and creativity, it stood as a monument to the golden age of print until everything has changed. This isn't just an urban exploration, it's a journey into the forgotten. Southpool Goof mine is located on the ridge above the mining village of Sticker on Trelawith Common. It is an ancient mine dating back to the 16th century. The mine was worked intermittently during the years 1830 to 1882, but it was never rich. During this time it produced a modest 149 tonnes of tin. The last period of working was from 1915 to 1918, when arsenic and small quantities of tin were produced. Join us today as we explore a small house in Redroof. I wasn't planning on stopping here, and to be honest, I don't know much about this place. It was a surprise discovery while heading to another destination, but something about it made me pause and hit record. If you happen to know anything about this location, please feel free to share it in the comments. Hope you enjoy. Join us as we explore the abandoned countryside manor house joined by the uncharted exploration. Hidden deep within the English countryside, this once grand home now stands frozen in time, its halls echoing with forgotten stories and fading grandeur. Surrounded by wild meadows and ancient trees, the house still shelters exquisite antiques and precious remnants of life once lived. Though the history of the estate remains largely a mystery, we know the owner left due to illness, and today only a solitary groundsman watches over it. As the elements take their toll, collapsing roofs, ivy-covered walls, and rooms slowly giving into decay, it's a race against time to preserve what remains. Hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like and subscribe. In this video, we explore the shocking downfall of a construction company that went into administration, leaving behind unfinished homes and unanswered questions. With limited information available, all we know is that operations abruptly ceased and the plug was pulled. Deon Valley Holiday Park closed on December 1st, 2022 due to a combination of factors mainly related to a long-term neglect and financial viability. The owners cited 20 years of insufficient investment, which left the park unable to meet modern holiday expectations. This led to high levels of customer complaints about its facilities and overall experience. Despite its scenic waterfront location, they determined that the amount of investment required to bring it up to standard was too high to justify. As a result, they decided to focus on their sister parks in Brixham, which already offer higher quality accommodation and coastal views. The Palace Theatre is a disused theatre in Union Street, Plymouth, Devon in southwest England. It opened in 1898 as a music hall but was damaged by fire only 3 months after opening, and was reopened in 1899 as a new Palace Theatre of Varieties. In 1961 it was then converted to a bingo hall but later reverted to being a theatre as the Palace Theatre until 1983, when it became the Academy Disco and finally operated as the Dance Academy. In 2006, the Dance Academy in Plymouth, then the biggest nightclub south of Bristol, closed its doors for good after Class A drugs were found on the premises. Hidden beneath the tranquil greenery of Devonport Park in Plymouth lies a forgotten relic of the city's railway past, the Devonport Park Tunnel. Once part of Plymouth, Devonport and South West Junction Railway, this tunnel was a vital link in the route connecting Lidford to Devonport, threading its way beneath the city's streets and parks. The tunnel was located just behind the old King's Road station, once hailed as Plymouth's finest, and formed part of the approach to the station from the east. Trains would pass through the nearby Ford Tunnel, briefly emerging near Albert Road Halt, and then dive into Devonport Park Tunnel before reaching their destination. Though the station closed to passengers in 1964 and to goods in 1971, the tunnel itself still exists, sealed off and surrounded in undergrowth. Its masonry entrance, tucked away off Paradise Road, is one of the few visible remnants of this once bustling line. It's a quiet monument now, silent, overgrown and largely forgotten, but for those who know where to look, it's a portal to a time when steam and steel carved away beneath the city's oldest park. Tucked away in the heart of Truro, St Paul's Church once stood as a testament to Victorian ambition, Gothic craft and spiritual resilience. Built in 1845 to serve the growing parish of St Clement, it began as an overflow sanctuary funded by banker William Mansell Tweedy, but wasn't consecrated until 1864 due to financial setbacks. Through the decades, the building evolved. Architect John Dandle Seddon's 1880s expansion added grandeur with a chancel, side aisles and St Clement's Chapel. His nephew, Edmund Harold Seddons, later crowned the site with a tower in 1910, carved with figures like Sir Richard Granville and Bishop Trelawney. The church became a mosaic of artistry and memory, featuring stained glass masterpieces by Lavers, Barrett and Westlake and Hill & Co. Organ, 15th century pulpit stones and gifts from generations past. After standing for over 160 years, St Paul's was closed in 2007 due to severe structural damage. With repair costs soaring past £1 million, the congregation was forced to move on. In 2024, plans were announced for its demolition, marking 2025 as likely end of the physical chapter. Today I join forces with the Uncharted Exploration to step inside Barnstable's Rapid Intervention Centre. Once a lifeline for Northern Devon's urgent care network, this NHS building in Barnstable held a Rapid Intervention Centre, a hub coordinating critical community-based healthcare responses. From overnight crisis support to end-of-life coordinations, its services aim to keep patients out of hospital and cared for close to home. By the early 2024, this former Devon County Council social services site was deemed surplus. By mid-2025, plans were in motion to repurpose the space into residential development, signalling the end of its quiet but vital role. In this video, I explore the abandoned shell of a place that once bustled with emergency care coordination, now silent, awaiting its next chapter. Hidden treasure of Devonport, the King's Arms. Imagine strolling down the streets of Devonport and stumbling upon a building that practically commands attention. Polychrome bricks, arched window, a turret on the corner, and even royal crest decorating the facade. That's the King's Arms. This isn't just any old pub. Records dated back as far as the 1830s, with landlord Francis Dorrington already running the show back then. Some say it's even older. And while the English heritage initially placed it in the late 19th century, the truth is it might have been pouring pints decades before. Over the years, this place built a reputation not just for its impressive looks, but for the curious details inside, including what some locals swear were Plymouth's finest gent urinals. Yep, really. Though the taps went dry around 2004, the King's Arms lives on in Devonport's skyline and local memory. If you're ever nearby, it's worth a look, even if the taps have long since run dry. Hope you enjoy the video. Join us as we explore the Boslowick Inn tucked away in Cornwall's quiet corner. The Boslowick Inn holds echoes of a long and storied past. Built in the late 1700s by James Bow, lawyer and son of famed packet Captain John Bow, the building began as a stately private residence before stepping into its second life as a pub in the 1960s. Locals fondly dubbed it the Bossie, and it quickly became a community favourite, hosting pool nights, Eureka games and serving as a hub for groups like the Lions Club. Maritime whispers even suggest its interiors might feature wood panelling from the Duke of Marlborough's packet ship, anchoring its legacy into the oceanic lifeblood of Falmouth. Despite its social significance, the doors of the Bossie closed in October 2021. Developers eyed it for demolition, but the structure was recognised as a non-designated heritage asset, NDHA, thanks to its age, original materials and deep historical connections. Locals rallied and efforts to erase it were denied, protecting a cherished fragment of the town's characters. Today the building stands silent, bearing the scars of time. Fire damage, graffiti and decay gnaw at the bones. Yet beneath the ruin, a story persists. To many, the Boslowick remains more than brick and mortar. It's a symbol of generational memory, maritime pride and communal spirit. Hope you enjoy the video. Tucked away in the overgrowth of a quiet Devon town, this forgotten shack sits silently beside a winding dirt track, its story lost to time. With no records to trace, we can only speculate. Perhaps once servant quarters for a manor house that still stands at the track's end. Most recently, it seems to have served as a humble storage space. Today we step inside to uncover its secrets, what remains. We explore its quiet decay, searching for clues in the silence. Come with us, let's see what the shadow reveals. Hope you enjoy the video. Down a narrow country lane, tucked beside a working farm, we stumbled upon a strangely deserted bungalow. Most of the furniture was gone, but 2 cars remained, including a Range Rover with an MOT that doesn't expire until February 2026. A bill still clung to the fridge, dated April 2025. It's as if someone packed up in a hurry, but didn't finish. This explore left us with more questions than answers. Why did they leave so quickly? Why were the cars abandoned? And what happened between April and now? Hope you enjoy the video. Join us as we explore the abandoned Cornwall Council HQ offices. The Dokoof Avenue offices in Camborne have quite a large legacy. Originally, they served as a headquarters for Courier District Council before Cornwall Council was formed in 2009 through the merge of 6 district councils and a county council. In more recent years, the Dokoof site became one of Cornwall Council's main administrative hubs. However, by 2023, the building was operating at just 10% capacity and costing around $500,000 annually to maintain. A study revealed that continuing to use the site would require up to $6.4 million in repairs and upgrades. As part of a broader estate transformation programme, the council voted unanimously to close the offices in July 2023. Services were relocated to nearby facilities like South Wheel Crofty, Dryden and Creason Colonel, and the site was embarked for potential redevelopment into affordable and extra care housing. Hope you enjoy the video. Join us today as we explore Sekumin Exeter. Opening the site in Exeter in 1965 and employing around 50 people, Sekumin Exeter was a notorious animal byproduct processing facility. The plant specialised in rendering animal carcasses not an abattoir, but a facility where already deceased animals were processed into products like bone meal and tallow. It was infamous locally for its strong odours, earning it the nickname the Great Stink of Exeter among some residents. The site was closed in 2020 as part of a broader consolidation by Sekumin's parent company, Zaria. Operations were moved to a more advanced facility in Woodland, Cheshire. After closing, the site became derelict and suffered multiple fires, including 2 major blazes in early 2024 that caused significant damage. The land is now under the ownership of Sadara Group, which has submitted plans to redevelop the area into a mixed-use site with homes, retail and leisure spaces. Local campaigners have also proposed turning the site into green space or floodplain expansion, given its proximity to the canal and medium flood risk. It's a fascinating example of how industrial sites can leave a lasting mark on a city. Hope you enjoy.